Halo, selamat petang, salam sejahtera. Saya selaku moderator perkongsian hari ini, saya Cikgu Lee Soim ataupun Chemist Lee Soim. Moderator hari inilah daripada PGSM, Persatuan Guru STEM Malaysia. Saya mengalu-alukanlah peserta-peserta terutamanya ahli-ahli PGSM dari seluruh Malaysia untuk menyertai siaran bicara kita hari ini Okey. Jadi sebelum itu saya ingin buat sedikit iklan lah Okey, siaran kita hari ini adalah siri yang pertama lah, iaitu program yang kita akan anjurkan iaitu bernama Bicara Bakti PGSM bermula hari ini iaitu 13 Julai tahun 2024. Kita akan adakan sesi perkongsian ini dari segi kajian tindakan, inovasi ataupun amalan baik daripada guru-guru ataupun mungkin daripada pensyarah-pensyarah kepada warga pendidik, terutamanya kepada ahli-ahli PGSM yang tersayang ini. Saya nampak. Terima kasih Megaswari, Cikgu Lok Okey, salam sejahtera. Jadi untuk sebelum saya menjemputlah penceramah kita hari ini, saya cerita sedikitlah tentang kenapa adanya idea ini iaitu Bicara Bakti PGSM, iaitu idea yang diutamakan ataupun diutarakan oleh Cikgu Suhaili iaitu pengerusi kita, dan juga dapat sokonganlah daripada semua AJK tertinggi dan juga AJK negeri Kami sangat sokong program ini kerana nampaknya macam dah lama kita tak ada siaran perkongsian tentang amalan terbaik, kajian tindakan ataupun inovasi di kalangan guru Kalau cikgu-cikgu ataupun tuan-tuan dan puan-puan masih ingat lagi semasa kita mengadakan PDPR kita banyak sesi-sesi macam itu. Tapi selepas kita dah balik ke sekolah, masing-masing dah sibuk dengan kerja sekolah, jadi perkongsian atas talian tu dia makin kurang. Jadi sebab itulah kami daripada AJK tertinggi PGSM mengambil inisiatif ataupun langkah positif ini untuk menggalakkan supaya cikgu-cikgu ahli-ahli ataupun pensyarah-pensyarah ramai-ramai datang memberi perkongsian. Iaitu kita ada satu motto kita kata kita bantu kita. Okay, sharing is caring. Jadi untuk hari ini kita amat betul lah mendapat seorang guru cemerlang kimia. Saya pun kimia juga, guru cemerlang kimia juga. Okay, berasal guru cemerlang kimia berasal dari SMK Maria Convent Ipoh. Okay, yang tak lain tak bukan iaitu Cikgu Komati Bersinggam bertajuk, beliau akan berkongsikan dengan kita tentang tajuk bernama Enhance the Understanding of Student on Redox Reaction through Practical Engagement and Simulation using Cam-Redox Kit. So tanpa melengahkan masa, kita jemput Cikgu Komati ke siaran.
Terima kasih Cikgu Lee.
Halo, okey, yes,
Hai.
Cikgu Komati. Cikgu Komati, saya nak tanya sikitlah.
Yes.
Macam mana tertimbulnya idea tentang nak buat perkongsian tentang tajuk redox ini?
Okey, saya sebagai guru cemerlang kimia, saya telah pun mengajar subjek ini selama 18 tahun dan dari segi pengalaman saya sendiri dan juga daripada dengar rengutan daripada guru-guru kimia yang lain, mereka juga, saya rasa Cikgu Lee pun setuju tak dengan idea yang mengatakan redox equilibrium ni adalah satu topik yang sangat mencabar untuk diajar kepada anak murid. Do you agree with this statement?
Oh, ya.
Sebab
Dia
terlalu banyak
kesabaran lah, memerlukan kesabaran. Sebenarnya dia bukan redox tu bukanlah tajuk yang sangat susah. Cuma dia macam I would say macam grandfather story. Dia kena be patient lah, murid-murid kena patient.
Dia konsep dia adalah sangat abstrak, betul tak?
Yeah.
Dan kita perlukan sesuatu yang konkret untuk dibawa ke dalam bilik darjah supaya pelajar dapat hands on, dan topik ini juga merupakan satu topik yang mempunyai banyak eksperimen. Jadi rengutan daripada guru-guru kimia selalu dikata fakta pun kita kena kuasai. Pastikan pelajar menguasai fakta. Pada masa yang sama mereka mengambil masa yang agak lama untuk menyiapkan eksperimen. Jadi situlah seterusnya satu idea di mana saya rasa saya perlu solve a problem over here. So that's why I come out with the Cam-Redox kit, di mana saya menggunakan prinsip micro scale teaching of chemistry. So sambil kita mengajar teori, fakta dia, pada masa yang sama pelajar dapat menjalankan eksperimen dengan kaedah yang ringkas dan menggunakan masa yang singkat.
Yeah, I think that must be very interesting lah, sangat seronok ya. Jadi kita serahkanlah majlis ataupun bukan majlis pula lah. Kita serahkan sesi perkongsian ini kepada Cikgu Komati. Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Cikgu Lee. Izinkan saya untuk continue my presentation dalam bahasa Inggeris. Before that, let me share my screen first. Okay, boleh nampak screen saya? Okay, so good evening everyone over there. How are you all doing? Okay, I'm Puan Komati Wilasingam, Guru Cemerlang Kimia from SMK Eva Maria Convent Ipoh Perak. Today I'm going to share with you regarding the research and also the innovation that I've done in my classroom. On topic, this is actually chemistry, KSSM, Form 5 topic, chapter 1 in redox equilibrium. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you all on enhancing the understanding of redox reaction through practical engagement and simulation. So what I've done is a study on integration of my Cam-Redox kit, which is my innovation, using a micro-scale teaching of chemistry. Now, let's look deeply first on why I chose this particular topic. Okay, in context of chemistry education, chemistry is something which is very essential for the student to pursue their career in STEM field. And chemistry is a fundamental building block of the academic journey in future too. So when I look at this, the importance of chemistry in my students' life, and when come to a redox reaction particularly, redox reaction is actually a fundamental and prevalent chemical reactions, and is very essential in numerous application of it, including energy storage, chemical synthesis, and environmental remediation. So when I look into this topic and when I study on the challenges and what are the constraints faced by the teachers and the students in the classroom. So based on my previous literature reviews, I came to know that according to Smith 2020, he has stated that redox reaction is one of the most challenging topic for students to grasp because of the abstractness of the concept. And second, the abstract nature of the redox reaction makes the student perplexed for the students, according to Zhang. And thirdly, the challenges faced in the chemistry classroom on this topic is traditional and didactic method often make the student become less engaging, and it makes the student become we give the expression to the students like the redox is something which is very complex. So that's where from my previous study, these are the challenges that have been identified by the previous researchers. So from taking into this consideration, so I come up with a innovative method to teach redox, where we can able to make the abstract concept to become more concrete to our students and give them a easier understanding on redox reaction. Okay, and when we look into another role on redox as a role of practical engagement, now we need a practical engagement because students, when we teach the concept saying that okay, this is iron 2 are converting to iron 3 and so on, when we are verbally telling to our students, they can't see it, they can't look at it, it's difficult for them to imagine as well. So the practical engagement is something which is very pivotal for enhanced students' understanding. And also we need something which are tangible so that they can understand the abstract concept more clearly. So due to this, what I've done in my innovation, which I label it as Cam-Redox kit, I brought a micro scale teaching technique. Why I choose micro scale teaching technique? Okay, micro scale teaching technique is we will use a very minimum quantity and the reaction can be done in a very short time. Is I will say is a one technique where we able to do it in a very cost effective manner and environmentally sustainable. So by this, we able to make our each and every student to engage actively in the classroom where they able to foster a deeper understanding of the chemical phenomena, whatever they are learning by using this technique. Okay, so this is what I'm going to share with all of you today. Now, this is my Cam-Redox kit. So in my Cam-Redox kit, what I've done is there's a worksheet for the students to be followed for the activities. And there is also a worksheet for experiment. As you can see, this is a laminated worksheet. So for my micro-scale experiment practical engagements, students don't require beaker, they don't require the apparatus. They will do it within the worksheet. Okay. So how? In a while, I will show you. And this is the miniatures version of the solution required for the experiment to be carried out. So this is a complete set of my Cam-Redox kit, which I have done with my class and I've also shared out with other schools and institutions. Now, to prepare my Cam-Redox kit, what technique I've used is I use a scamper technique. Okay, when we talk about scamper technique, you will start with substitute. Now, what I've substituted is, as I told you just now, for redox equilibrium, there's a lot of experiments. So students and also even teachers find it very difficult and time constrained, right? Because we need to get prepared on the apparatus setup. And there is also a constraint of lack of apparatus and so on. So to overcome this, what I've used is I have replaced a large scale apparatus with a small scale equipments like what I show you just now. They don't need because they don't need the test tube. Okay, they are able to carry out with the worksheet and the small miniatures of the solution I provided. And secondly, combine. Okay, what I have combined is I have integrate worksheets and equipment to enhance the understanding of redox equilibrium. So not only they do the practical work using the worksheet, but at the same time, after carrying out the activity using the worksheet, they able to, I have given a scaffolding method in my worksheet where they able to complete the task given. So by the end of the task, they will be able to understand better on the concept of redox reaction when come to certain reactions. There are about 7 experiments I've included in this kit. So by undergoing this learning process, students have a better understanding. And the third element is adapt. So I have done adaptation of a smaller scale concept relevant to everyday life rather than we are using a large scale and a big quantity and so on. And what I have modified here is I've created an appealing, well-equipped and user-friendly and portable and highly efficient design. So it's very easy, quite light, and it's quite portable too. Okay. And the other one is put to others' use. Now, I have also have considered not only for Form 5 chemistry to use my kit, I also have adopt the content for matriculation and A-level and university programs in these experiments. So out of the 7 experiments, there are experiments are interrelated to A-level matriculation studies or redox included. And what I've eliminated here, I've eliminated here the application of the large scale experiments, okay, with the restrict handling in the laboratories. And I have rearranged the whole thing in a systematic and organization for experimental procedures. So these are the 7 things I have done in my innovation as an intervention to teach and also to study this topic for better. Okay, as you can see, this is how my Cam-Redox kit works. So here I prepared a worksheet for them to do the task, and there's another worksheet where they will use that to carry out the experiments. And as you can see, this kit uh, has promoted a collaborative learning among the students and is more to student-centered and also promote fun learning. And okay, the second one, student also having problem with the E0 values. They don't know when to choose the E0 value for the anode and cathode reactions. So what I've done, I have simplified with my QRY assays E0 value. With this will assist them to identify which E0 value substance will be oxidized and reduced. And this is for electrolytic and voltaxes. Okay, as you can see in the diagram, I use a very simple setup where students are able to do their electrolytic cell and voltax cell study in a very simple way and quite fast. Okay, beside the practical on the miniature version of that experiments I've done, I also have integrated some simulation in my kit to enhance their understanding, because I have embedded some QR code for simulation to enhance their understanding. As you can see, students can see very clearly based on animation. So we know our students, they have different type of learning styles, right? Visual, audio, reading, and kinesthetic. So for those who are kinesthetic, they prefer to do hands-on. But those are visual, they have to see something which are visual for their better understanding. So I have catered a simulation and also practical engagement through this kit to cater a 4 different style of learning for my students. Okay, so let's look at the objective of my study which I've conducted. So I have used this Cam-Redox kit in my teaching, and I have done some study on this. I want to know on the effectiveness of this kit. Okay, firstly, I would like to assess on the impact of Cam-Redox kit using the micro-scale teaching on Form 5 science stream students on their conceptual understanding of redox reaction. My second objective was to evaluate the effectiveness of this pedagogical approach in enhancing Form 5 students' performance in certain reactions. Firstly, on displacement reaction of halide ions, displacement of metal ions, conversion of iron 2 to 3 and vice versa, in electrolytic cell and voltax cell. So these are the reactions which I particularly focus for redox reactions. Okay, and number 3 is to enhance the students' confidence and motivation in studying redox reaction through the implementation of this Cam-Redox redox kit with microscale teaching techniques. Okay, this is actually the framework of my study. There are a few variables involved in this study. Firstly, is an independent variable is the integration of a Cam-Redox kit with the microscale teaching. So by integrating this kit, I would like to study on the dependent variable, which is the student's understanding of redox reaction. And there is also a contextual variable in this study. There are two. First is the prior knowledge, the student's existing knowledge of chemistry. And secondly is their classroom setting, the environment, how the teacher's expertise and the available resources. Okay, so the mediating variable that comes along this study is the engagement and the comprehension. So when we look at the engagement, we look at the level of the active participation of the students and the involvement of them in the study in the classroom, okay, during the lesson. And secondly, we look at the degree to which the student able to grasp the redox concept correctly. Now, this is the methodology of my study. The population and the sample size I took for my study is I took 168 Form 5 students at SMK Aba Maria Convent who are studying chemistry. And the sampling I've done is random sampling. And also I've done a purposive sampling for focus group discussion. Okay. So this research is mostly involving mixed method research. And the timeline I took is about 1 month plus 1.5 months to complete my study on this. Okay, so let's look at the qualitative method of this research. For qualitative, So actually, I think this is wrong. This is supposed to be quantitative. Okay, for the quantitative, the data collection I use is the pre-test and the post-test. Okay, what is the pre-test? I did test with my students before I do intervention. That before I using my Cam-Redox kit. Another one I did with the intervention. Okay, so I split the students into two groups. One is experimental group, another one is a control group. So when I split them into two groups, then the control group will undergoes the normal traditional method of learning. The other group will undergoes the learning of redox reaction using my kit. So before they undergoes this intervention, both the group were set for exam. So I have got their assessment, first assessment before they undergoes the treatment. Then after they undergoing the intervention, the students are required to sit for another set of questions on redox. So from that, I able to compare on their achievement, whether the kid have helped in their achievement or not, and how well they able to grasp the concept correctly. And I've also have done a survey questionnaire with my students to know on their feedback about this kit. And all this input had been analyzed using inferential statistics. Okay. Now for qualitative, where I've done interview with a few groups of students. So I've done a focus group discussion with the student in the experimental group. So those students have done the intervention with Cam-Redox kit. So they had been interviewed, and the finding from it had been analyzed using qualitative data. Okay, so this is what I got towards the end of my study. As you can see here, as I told you just now, I have involved 168 students. So I split them into two groups, experimental group and control group. So each group was assigned about 84 students at each group. And as you can see, the mean score of their achievement for the experimental group was 55. The control group was 52 out of 100. And then after the intervention had been carried out, the experimental group performance had been increased to 75 and the control is slightly increased to 65. It doesn't show so much increase compared to the experimental group. Okay, the standard deviation after the intervention had been carried out, the 10 indicating increased variability in their understanding. Okay, even the control group shows there's an increase, but it's very slight compared to the Cam-Redox scheme. So statistically, a significant improvement in their understanding on redox reaction had been shown based on the T values, which are quite high. Okay, and I've conducted a survey, right, to study on their confidence, their motivation, and their satisfaction of undergoing this teaching and learning process using the Cam-Redox kit. So based on the finding, firstly on the confidence level, students have said that moderately high level of confidence in their ability to relate to the pedagogical approach had been used by Cam-Redox kit. And the standard deviation about 0.9 indicate there are some variation in the students' confidence levels. So there's a range of confidence levels among the students. But even then, the mean score has been given is quite high to 3.7. Okay, so anything which is more than 3.5 is considered a high level of mean. So based on this, what I can conclude is Cam-Redox kit have kindled the higher confidence in students to pursue their learning on Cam-Redox reactions. Secondly, regarding their motivation. Now, students have a high level of motivation when engaged with this pedagogical skill of approach. And the standard deviation, as you can see, which is 0.7, is relatively less variation. That means compared to confidence level just now, motivation is less variance among students. And there's a minimum satisfaction score about 2, and the maximum level was given is 4, showing that there is a range of satisfaction level among the students. So mostly they are very satisfied and they are highly motivated to pursue their studies on redox reaction using the kit. And okay, this is about the satisfaction too. Every satisfaction score was reported. So out of 168 students, 3.8 out of 5 have suggested that they are moderately satisfied with the pedagogical skill and been applied. Now, this is my finding based on the interview which I held with the students who have already undergone their studies with Cam-Redox. Okay, so based on the data I collected through the interview, I've done a thematical analysis, and the first theme that I've quoted here is regarding enhanced understanding. Okay, most of the students expressed that the use of the Cam-Redox kit in this topic, they make the less abstract become more comprehensible. So as I told you just now, when we do a traditional method of teaching compared to using this kit, so the students find it that it really improves their understanding. They're able to grasp the theoretical concept well. Secondly, many students noted the boost in their confidence when dealing with redox reaction. Even I myself, when I do this teaching and learning of chemistry in this particular topic, compared to my previous practices in the classroom, usually when I teach, I don't use the Cam-Redox kit, right? So I always find that it's quite difficult to attract their interest towards this topic, because maybe the beginning they will be okay, but towards the end the student will find it is quite difficult for them to understand. They will get less motivated and so on. But after implementing this Cam-Redox kit in my class, and also this is the feedback I received from other teachers also who have used my kit, they say that they're able to maintain the participation of the students who are very actively engaged in their teaching and learning process. And indirectly, it also boosts their confidence level. Okay. And it enhances their motivation. Students reported they have a higher motivation level using this kit. And very interesting part, which the comment I received from my students is they said that the practical part, when they carry out the experiment using a micro scale teaching, were very fast, in a very simple manner, they're able to see the result. And that is what makes them to become more enthusiastic to learn more and to know more on redox reaction. So that's really kindle their interest and engage them towards their teaching and learning process. Okay. Now, students noted the importance of collaborative learning experience facilitated by the kit, and there was a peer interaction occurred too. Okay, as you saw in the picture I showed you just now also. So this has kindled the collaborative learning among the students. Okay. Now, the fifth thematical analysis, as you can see, this kit able to bridge the theory and the practice. Okay, previous studies have shown there's a gap of implementation into the theoretical concept to the practical application. But after carrying out the study using the kit, it able to bridge the gap between the theoretical knowledge of the students to their practical application. And students have expressed a deeper connection with what they have learned in class and also real world class chemistry. And number 6, this have improved their performance. Okay, automatically all this, the positive feedback I've obtained from implementing this kit in the classroom. And at the end of the day, this has helped my students to do better in their chemistry exam. Okay, let's go for the discussion part. My first objective was to assess the impact of Cam-Redox kit on student conceptual understanding, right? Okay, what the finding was, first, study reveals a significant positive impact on student conceptual understanding. The mean from pre-test to the post-test have been increased and have shown a statistically significant. And this study was aligned uh, with Anderson 2018 studies too. And secondly, improvement across group. So when I studied my my study on this research with the two groups, so the experimental group have exposed that redox kit and the microscale teaching are more sustainable and increase their understanding and enhance their understanding on this redox equilibrium too. Okay, let's go to objective 2. When I want to evaluate on the effectiveness of these reactions, right, using the kit. Okay, firstly, there is a significant improvement in students' performance on displacement reaction of halide ions. And secondly, it also shows improvement in the understanding of metal displacement, conversion of iron 2 to 3 and vice versa, and student able to effectively able to do the application of the electrolytic and voltaic cell in the problem solving of real life. Okay, now so the recommendation for for the future study is maybe I would like to investigate the long-term impact of this kit on students' retention of the redox concept. And I also would like to conduct a comparative research to evaluate the effectiveness of this kit and also this teaching method against the teaching method or other tools which are readily available. And I would like to diversify my student population as well. Okay, so at the end of this research, what I can conclude is, based on the findings, they have underscored the importance of the holistic development in chemistry education by addressing not only cognitive but also affective domain. So Cam-Redox with the microscope teaching pedagogical approach contributes to a more comprehensive learning experience. So it's about transforming education, empowering students, and enriching the future of chemistry. So that's all from me today. Thank you.
Thank you for the so awesome presentation and sharing from Cikgu Komati. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Julai.
So yes. Maybe I come across the questions lah. Like I quite interesting. So seeing that student using handphone, right,
Yeah,
to do the animations or the simulations activity. So I was
yes.
wondering, does your student bring their own handphone or how?
Okay, we have a collection of second-hand handphone. So I have a collection of second-hand handphone which is not used, and
Mm-hmm.
I give to my class. I have only
Oh,
10, so that's why each group was given about one or two only.
oh, okay. So you might be have more than 10 units lah. Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah. So means that you prepare your collections lah, and then you
Yes,
give.
yeah,
That's a good idea. Mm. And then it's a good that you combine everything like the hands-on and also the digitals as well, right? So means that so these kits is the only keep in the lab, right? You keep keeping in the lab for students.
y- yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you imagine that I have completed about 7 activities, 7 experiments? So in the real
Mm-hmm.
set of the 7 experiments, can you imagine how many apparatus and the solution we have to prepare? But compared
Mm-hmm.
to one box with the comprised set in the miniature version,
Yeah.
be able to do it quite fast is
Mm.
time saving lah, time saving, and also in terms of solution also a normal experiment we need minimum 2 cm cube of solution. Am I right? But
Yes.
for
Yes.
this experiment, students only use the eyedropper bottle. I put the solution inside the eyedropper, so they just drop the solution. Maybe they need about 2 to 3 drops of a solution to carry out the experiment.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think throwbacks about years 90s, I think. Got one time I have opportunity invited by my the GPWP. I attended a sharing course in I think in University Malaya. The lecturer
Mm-hmm.
is not lecturer, the professor is from Thailand. She
Yeah.
brought a big in a wooden box, and then inside there there's a lot of the mini skills apparatus such as like even the conical flash, and then for the one that what blew the electrostatic one also he have
Yes.
everything very a bit bulky lah, but that kids you can do a lot of experiment, even science, even the physics experiment. It has magnet and so on. Yeah, it's
Mm.
quite it can reduce the difficulty to prepare the apparatus lah. Yeah. So mungkin Cikgu Komati boleh kongsi sedikit lah. Bagaimana, how much time, berapa masa yang you perlukan untuk perancangan, the first step, how when you want to come out the first idea, right? Mula-mula itu.
Okay, as what you told just now, I agree, because actually I got this idea from one of the conference I attend and be shared by one of the lecturer from Thailand too.
Yes.
And she have exposed me on the micro scale teaching method. So
Yeah.
by getting that idea, so I try to integrate to Cam-Redox. So
Yeah.
to come out with the idea is not easy, and it doesn't work within overnight too. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and I need a lot of sketch. I need to sketch. I have to try and error many times until to
Yeah.
the successful kit, like what I'm having right now.
Yeah.
So,
That's why, yeah. Berapa masa, same lah, menjalankan eksperimen.
kalau nak menggunakan Cam-Redox kit ini, kalau bandingkan dengan cara yang kita mengajar secara tradisional menggunakan eksperimen setup yang biasa kita buat tu, kalau kita buat yang biasa tu, mungkin kita akan mengambil masa 1 hingga 1.5 bulan untuk habiskan topik dengan menjalankan eksperimen dan mengajar fakta dia. Betul kan, Cikgu Lee?
Ya, correct.
Tapi menggunakan Cam-Redox kit saya ni, Cikgu boleh menghabiskan topik pengajaran Cam-Redox kit ini dalam masa 3 minggu sahaja dengan pelaksanaan eksperimen sekali.
Yeah. So I think is satu permulaan lah, satu inisiatif yang sangat inovatif dan sangat baguslah. Patut tergendala sekejap. Jadi sebab itulah kita kata sharing is caring kan. Contohnya kalau kita pergi macam malam ni, mungkin yang penonton-penonton ya ataupun peserta-peserta dalam talian tu mungkin bukan daripada cikgu kimia. Mungkin daripada cikgu bio, cikgu sains ataupun even cikgu matematik pun kita boleh adopt cara yang orang tu bentang, kita tak boleh tiru 100%. Kalau kita tiru tu nanti kita akan disaman kan ya. Kita adopt cara itu and then kita modify. Itu sudah menjadi satu inovasi ya. So mungkin itu akan menjadi satu amalan terbaik untuk kelas kita. Ya, lepas tu kita guna, kita cuba lagi. Sampailah kita rasa okey dah specify lah cara ini. Jadi selalunya kaedah itu mungkin dia sesuai untuk murid kohort yang sekarang ini. Tapi mungkin tahun depan kita nak guna untuk kohort murid tu mungkin dia kurang sesuai sikit. Sebab kita maklumkan semua murid tu dia ada pembezaan. Ya, mungkin ada yang macam tadi kan kita ada pelbagai kecerdasan ya, ada yang suka hands on, ada yang suka music, ada yang suka melukis dan sebagainya ya. Okey, kita tengok dekat komen-komen ada tak soalan-soalan? Mungkin saya tertariklah dengan Cikgu Komati. Berapakah kos untuk satu set ini? Kos ya, bukan jualan ya. Kos yang digunakan untuk menghasilkan satu set ini.
Okay, kalau cikgu lihat kan, saya menggunakan lembaran kerja saja and laminated only, mostly for them to do the experiment. They will drop the solution on the laminated worksheet and then they will do the experiment. And I look at the quantity of the solution, I use also 1 or 2 drops only per experiments. So the minimum amount of solution required for 1 bottle is also 5 ml only, less than 5 ml.
Yeah.
So the cost as
continue first.
Yeah. So when I calculate roughly average, the cost is coming about 22 to 28 ringgit in average, because including the cost of battery and also the battery holder and the carbon rod.
Yeah. I think similar lah. I did one before. You know, when chapter 6 they have to test the cation ions and the presence of cation ion, anion, right? So just put a few drop, they can see whether it's the precipitate is formed or not, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So nanti boleh jual lah. This one is it your master studies, right? Is it
No,
one of your
actually.
master or your doctor? There's a
Actually, this
project.
one as you know,
Mm,
I always do innovation in my
mm,
chemistry
mm, mm,
classroom,
mm.
right? So this is my latest innovation lah. And
Yeah, yeah,
I would like to always study and try and error. So with the knowledge I obtained from the conference on micro scale, so I
yeah.
invented this kit.
Okay, ada soalan daripada Cikgu Faisal. Tanya, adakah Cikgu rasa kit ini boleh ditambah baik? Mungkin dengan
Sure.
penggunaan AI.
Yeah, yeah. As what Cikgu Lee said just now, right? Because every year we have different kind of batch of students, and their requirement is different too. So we can't occupy with one thing that we have always, you know. So we always have to do penambahbaikan pada kit yang kita ada. So masa ke semasa dengan ilmu yang saya peroleh, mungkin saya akan buat penambahbaikan. Dan baru-baru ni saya baru balik daripada CJD punya interview meetup, right? And we were exposed to the teachable. So mungkin I might use that also to upgrade it. Thank you for your suggestion.
Okay. Jadi sebelum menarik kongsian, okay, Cikgu Arsyad. Sekejap. Ada lagi tak komen-komen soalan? Okey, jadi sebelum kita berakhir, jadi di sini ya saya ingin mengambil peluang lah untuk membuat iklan kepada penonton-penonton, khasnya kepada ahli-ahli PGSM ya yang telah berdaftar ini. Sekiranya anda ada kajian tindakan, amalan terbaik ataupun inovasi yang canggih-canggih itu, jangan simpan sendiri tau. Boleh sangat-sangat dialu-alukan, datanglah ke platform Bicara Bakti PGSM ini untuk membuat perkongsian ya. Boleh hubungi saya juga ataupun Cikgu Hairul ya untuk menjadi pembentang. Boleh. Kita alu-alukanlah. So mungkin saya buka iklan tau minggu depan, minggu lagi satu untuk chemistry juga. Cikgu Kimia ada tak atas talian? Boleh hubungi saya Cikgu Lee. Sama-sama kita buat sedikit perkongsian tentang kimia lagi, ya, subjek kimia. Ataupun subjek lain pun boleh. Sangat-sangat dialu-alukan lah. Saya rasa saya tengok di sini tak ada apa-apa lagi. So Cikgu Komati, maybe bagi satu kata nasihat lah kepada penonton-penonton kita yang setia sampai habis ini. Sebelum kita kongsikan link kehadirannya, tadi saya nampak ada beberapa orang dah tanya. Kita akan bagi, jangan risau. Okay.
Okay, saya rasa inovasi itu adalah amat diperlukan dalam bilik darjah. Kita sebagai guru jangan menjadi content deliver saja, sebab kita ada pelbagai jenis aras murid di dalam kelas kita. Keperluan mereka pun berbeza. Kita tak boleh menggunakan satu kaedah yang sama untuk mengajar anak murid kita. Jadi tolong pelbagaikan kaedah anda dengan membuat inovasi. Sebab daripada pengalaman saya ni, saya nampaklah kesan, the impact that the innovation can create to my students. So we can produce a lifelong learner. We ourselves become a lifelong learner with
Yes.
improvising and innovating our teaching and learning pedagogical skills.
Ya, saya setuju itu. So seperti kita katalah, do not use yesterday's technology ataupun yesterday's method, right, to teach today's student. You will rob them of tomorrow. So dengan kata-kata nasihat daripada Cikgu Komati dan juga tadi ni Facebook ya, jangan lupa pergi like Facebook PGSM banyak-banyak ramai-ramai. Okay, saya tengok mungkin boleh kongsikanlah link kehadirannya. Sekiranya ada apa-apa soalan, bolehlah menyertai kumpulan Telegram kita PGSM. Untuk kita ada beberapa kumpulan Telegram. Jadi untuk program Bicara Bakti PGSM ni pun kita ada satu Telegram khas ataupun boleh join juga Telegram Persatuan PGSM itu. Kalau di situ, kalau ahli, kalau yang telah ada dalam kumpulan Telegram itu, apa-apa saja maklumat, aktiviti yang kami akan anjurkan itu kami akan wawarkan dalam kumpulan Telegram tersebut. Jadi cikgu-cikgu ataupun ahli-ahli PGSM itu tidak akan tertinggal lah. Jadi ramai-ramai ya, okey join dan tolong pergi like Facebook, YouTube ya, kita sama-sama kita sokong. Siapa lagi tak sokong PGSM kan selain kita. Okey. So untuk itu saya mewakili, saya selaku moderator merangkap timbalan pengerusi PGSM mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Cikgu Komati yang sudi meluangkan masa untuk memberi perkongsian beliau tentang tajuk redox reaction ya. Menggunakan simulation inovasi dia iaitu Cam-Redox kit ini untuk rakan-rakan pendidik kita. Okey, itu saja daripada pihak kami PGSM. Sekiranya ada tersalah cakap apa, minta maaf. Okey, itu saja. Salam sejahtera. Ya, sehingga kita bertemu lagi pada siri yang akan datang. Bye.
Bye.